Guys, and you know what? I want to talk Daryl Dixon. And the real question is about Daryl is was he better in the beginning of the Walking Dead series or is he at his prime right now? For me, I want to hear you guys what you guys think. Just comment below. Let me know what you guys think about Daryl and just the overall what I'm saying. If you disagree or agree, there will be spoilers because talking about Daryl, there's a lot of things that happened in his life. But I really feel like watching, since we're in season 5 and season 6 coming up, and just thinking about Daryl Dixon as a character and how much of a recluse he kind of is. He's not as, cocky. He's not as open as he used to be. He definitely doesn't throw those one-liners as much as anymore. He's a little bit kind of moodier. He keeps to himself a little bit more. He only confides with Carol and Rick, and he's still that leader type. But I feel like he just doesn't. He's not as entertaining. He's not as the Daryl I loved in the very beginning of The Walking Dead. I mean, the beginning of The Walking Dead, you could call him. I mean, people were calling him. Yeah, I love that redneck. Hey, I'm a country boy too. I come from Margarita. You're a redneck when you're hunting down squirrels and you're eating them. But I absolutely loved Daryl in the beginning. I loved his little one-liners when Shane was getting him in the chokehold. That chokehold's illegal. And then, going after, having this huffing and puffing moment saying, hold me back, I'm about to whoop your ass, come here. Just those little moments, and especially with him and Merle, like, screw you, Merle. And then, of course, the famous line, like, when he was at the farm, at Herschel's farm, like, well, people in hell want Slurpees. I love that Daryl. That Daryl had so much cockiness. He was talking shit to everybody. He knew what he was saying. And you would like shrug him off, but then you like look at him like, damn, he knows what he's talking about. The dude had a freaking crossbow. When this character was introduced, he had so much more life, so much more personality. And it's definitely, it's kudos to the show, though, that they gave him more of a story, definitely more of losses throughout his character throughout the series. And I guess you could say that because of these losses, because of the hardships that's gone from season 1 to season 6 now, is that he doesn't feel lively anymore. He does feel like the Walking Dead walking among this earth. But I feel like we definitely lost something from Daryl, his entertainment, his swag, so to speak, his basically him not afraid to speak the truth, not being so much of a recluse and really just shoving it in your face and say, what the hell are you doing, Rick? Just really going after him. But I feel like he's just not like that anymore. He's definitely, he definitely follows what Rick says, but he definitely has Rick's ear, especially in that one episode where Rick straight up tells him, you're my brother. I love that moment as well. Norman Bates, Norman Reedus. If you haven't seen the Boondock Saints, I remember that's the first time I saw this guy. Boondock Saints, cult classic. It's ridiculous, but it's fun. And Norman Reedus, man, I saw that guy. I'm like, what, that guy's got something. He might become a star. He's a good actor. I like him. So in any other movies, I think I'll enjoy his performances. Glad he's having so much success with this character, Daryl Dixon. But I do feel like it's getting a little stale. I feel like Daryl does get some cool-ass, zombie kills. He definitely has a role in the group now that he's in the community, finding other people that will come along. But it still feels like Daryl, his potential is there, but they haven't met that potential yet. I would love to see him lead another group somewhere down the line. I don't want to see Daryl die yet. I think Daryl would go out in a blaze of glory, but not just yet. I don't even get started on my gut feeling about next season, but I think they will just stick with the comics for next season. I do love how, the creators did have Daryl lose a lot of people. He lost Merle, and Merle was, he was a piece of shit, but that was his brother. And I loved the very beginning of the season when they were going after, to look for Merle, him and Rick and Glenn, and just, him just like he's just losing his mind because he couldn't find Daryl. But along the way, he stopped looking for a while because he was getting used to this group. But I did love the fact that when he lost Daryl, like he just broke down. That emotionally, he just broke. He wasn't lively anymore. With also Beth. I mean, when he was with Beth for a while, you saw the connection there, whether it be, people interpret it as romance, but I also interpret it as friendship. Like, he really got close to Beth, and when Beth died, like, he was just done. I thought he would be more of an emotional wreck, honestly, but he definitely, that's when he became a little bit more recluse. So what I'm saying is the deaths, the situation that's presented themselves, it just feels like this Daryl is so much different since the beginning. And you can also say the same thing with Rick. But with Rick, you could feel that. You can feel that right here. You feel that connection. You like, you're different, and you're turning to Shane. But I still see you, Rick. I still see you from season 1. With Daryl, it's like, Daryl, I need you to be more lively, and I need you to nut up or shut up. Get those Twinkies, damn it. But with Daryl, I mean, I do wish that the creators and the writers would have Daryl get out of his kind of funk and get him more lively and get him. I don't want him to necessarily go back in character. I want him to go forward, but I do want him to have the same characteristics that he had in the beginning of the season. So that's why I think in the beginning of the Walking Dead series, I think he was a little bit better because he definitely had characteristics that brought a smile to my face. He still has the hunting characteristics. He still throws those one-liners, but it's just not as frequent, and it's just not as lively, and it's just not as you just don't feel it anymore. But I guess you could call it, with Daryl was a kid back then. Now he's become a man, but this man is so like. He's so quiet, honestly. He's quiet. He's a quiet guy. If you watch the episodes with him and Carol, and they're going to go find Beth, so quiet. Even with Carol. I mean, Carol, the one person he really talks to. Like, I always say when I was watching The Walking Dead that the writing was terrible, dialogue was terrible, because there was nothing to it. There was nothing to the Carol and Daryl dialogue, even though they have great chemistry. So it's the fault of kind of the writers that Daryl is kind of, in my opinion, a little bit stale right now. I still think the beginning was just like the best of Daryl. Overall, though, I do look forward to seeing where his character goes. I mean, I say this because, you could give me the argument of, look where he's been at, look he's lost, but a lot of people are like that. For me, I was like that at one point. I'm a joyous guy. I like to crack jokes. I like to talk shit sometimes with my homies. But you know what? At one point, I did something happened, and I was just recluse, and I just, I lost the motivation to really just to live a lively life. But after a while, you get over it, and you just, you become yourself again. So I think Daryl, at this point, he was lively. He's not as lively as he is anymore. And I think at this point he needs to just, get back to his former self and really, crack those little one-liners and stuff. But by all means, I still love Daryl Dixon as a character. Even I do like how they made him be pretty much a scouter for the community, and just really have him something to do. But at one point, I would love to see him lead a group. I think Daryl is a great leader, and I want to see him find his voice. We'll see. There's a lot of possibilities that could happen in the future Walking Dead series. But you know what? This is the TV show. Walking Dead is not going to be around forever. Even though the comic books are still going, the Walking Dead series is going to be looking at them like, we can't continue to keep going with you. So I think along the lines, the Walking Dead's creators have to say, you know what? How many seasons do we have realistically, because we need to start making some storylines that is going to lead to conclusion. Robert Kirkman, what do you think? So Daryl, I'm interested to see what happens to him. I hope he lives throughout the apocalypse, but I'm pretty sure he will die at the very end, blaze of glory or something like that. But I do hope he would survive this. And Norman Reedus, whatever happens after The Walking Dead, I hope he gets a lot of roles coming his way, because he is one of the special actors in that group. He definitely has that star quality, and I'm glad he already is a star in The Walking Dead. So the question being, which Daryl do I like best, from the beginning or now? Is he at his prime right now? I don't believe so. I think he is at a crossroads, so to speak. And I think he has room to grow more towards the future. But honestly, I do miss the Daryl of old. I do miss, the rough and tough Daryl, the one that speaks his mind, the one that don't give a shit about. He'll go after you no matter what, who you are. But I do see the growth that was in that character. But I just feel like that characteristics and that smile needs to come back to Daryl sooner or later. So that's my thoughts. Let me know what you guys think. I mean, this is just me. It's just me. It's just what I think every time I watch The Walking Dead. I do enjoy what they do with Daryl, but I just feel like, they could, I miss the old Daryl. I do miss the old Daryl. I'm not going to lie. So how do you guys feel? Do you guys like the Daryl right now? Do you think the Daryl right now is just amazing? Like I said, I pinpoint some of the things. It could be like a mature thing, storytelling thing. Do you guys believe that as well? Just let me know what you guys think about Daryl. I think everybody's a Daryl fan at this point, and we don't want to see him go. It would be really shocking, but gut feeling saying if he doesn't go next season, he'll go in the next 2 seasons. That's the gut feeling. I'm calling it right now, next season or the next 2 seasons. That's season 7. So thank you guys for listening, and subscribe, like, more Walking Dead videos on the way. And I want to do more Walking Dead videos. I think I'll do one with Rick, because Rick, oh man, the juicy storytelling for Rick from the comics and the TV series. I think they're doing a great job with him on both. But yeah, thank you guys for listening, and go Daryl Dixon. Do not kill Daryl. We riot. Do we still riot? Are we still rioting for Daryl if he dies? Let me know. All right, guys. See ya. The Walking Dead.